Okay, you guys, welcome back to part 3. So we've already created our pockets in the previous video, and now we are going to create the cover, or we're going to retexturize our book in the background, okay? So what we will be doing is applying a clipping mask to, I don't know why that keeps going. I keep flipping my pencil and it keeps bringing up that menu. We're going to be applying a clipping mask to our cover. We will be creating a gradient effect to make a crease or to apply some shadows to that back cover to give you the option to use it blank, so that it looks like a booklet, and then you can insert whatever you want in there. But also using the pages if that's the look that you're going for as well. Okay. So in a previous video, we had made a couple of duplicates of this texture that we're using. All right. We are now going to turn off these just so that we can see what we're working with here. And I am going to go ahead and unlock. Oh, you don't really have to unlock it, but I'm going to go ahead and unlock that. my book, okay? Because I am actually going to use that and clip the texture right to that. Because I already have the shape. It's already there. I don't need to reinvent the wheel. So I'm going to position this texture. And you know what? I'm going to go ahead and split this into two. I'm going to duplicate this one more time so that I can cover the other side of the book, because I don't want to distort the pattern too much. See, if I stretch it too much, then it kind of messes it up a little bit. So I'm going to hold down on the screen and I'm going to duplicate, and I'm going to go ahead and bring this one to the other side. Okay. And it'll snap to where I want it. That's good. Now, it looks pretty strange right now because the coloration is off. So on the second one, up across the top, you'll have some transform options. If you click on the transform, which is the two little triangles there, I'm going to go ahead and flip that horizontally, all right? And then I will take those two pieces and I will select them both, and I'm going to merge those. So now they're one piece. And there's a little line in the center, so I didn't do too good of a job. I'm going to undo that last one, the merge. And I'm just going to bring that over just a tad bit so that just going to drag it just a little bit so it's not right on that middle. Now select both and hit merge selected. Okay, and that's better. That gets rid of that little line that formed in the center there when I joined the two. Okay, once I have that done, all that I'm going to do is I'm going to unlock this real quick. I'm going to grab it and I'm going to drag it in. And it's not doing it. I'm going to drag that in. Now, you see what happened here? And this is why I tell you that sometimes you have to make sure that things are rasterized and trimmed, or they're just not going to work the way that you intended it to work. So I'm going to tap on that notebook. I'm going to go up to this little icon, the second icon in, and I'm going to rasterize and trim. And all that's going to do, it's going to eliminate that PDF format that's attached to that image, and it's going to allow me now to go ahead and drop that in. Okay. And you know what? I don't think. Well, see, real life, you guys. And I'm going to leave that in here so you can see exactly what it is that I was doing. I was dragging it into the wrong layer, so I was clipping it to the paper. That's why it wouldn't match. So I'm going to go ahead and put it on the right layer, which is that. And as you can see, now that shows you exactly what I was talking about. It's not clipped. It's not rasterized. So it's not conforming to those curves. So I'm going to go ahead over here, rasterize and trim that. And now it should work. There we go. This is a learning experience. I'm glad that that happened so that you can see what happens when you don't do it. And then you're wondering, like, why isn't that working? Well, that's why. Okay. So now that we have that done, I'm going to go ahead and shut the paper off so that you can see what I'm working with here. We have it clipped in there and it looks really good. I like that. But it looks flat. So we're going to do what we did before and we're going to create a pixel layer. And we're going to grab our brush tool. And I like this. The green is already selected there that I used before. So that's great. The flow is at 25. My brush is fairly big. I'm going to actually shrink this a little bit. And I'm going to do the same thing. I'm just going to draw in. It's not even drawing. It's just running my pencil on the edges there. Because I just want to give it a little bit of dimension. It's not really going to be that noticeable with your pockets on it, but it's just a little extra touch. Oops, see, I went overboard right there. Don't like it. I'm going to undo that. And that looks better to me. Let me bring that up. There we go. Just a little bit. Nothing fancy. All right, so now we have that done. We are going to apply a drop shadow to this group. So we're going to go to the top of the clipping mask. See, if you open and close it, you want to select the top, not the pixel, not the texture, okay? And we're going to go to FX. We're going to hit outer shadow. We're going to tap on outer shadow. And you can use the sliders here or you can just drag out where you want the shadow. And I'm going to diffuse that a little bit. I think 65 will be good. And actually I can bring this in a little bit. 30 will be good. Okay. Another thing I want to show you, once you apply a drop shadow, and you can only really go in one direction with the built-in layer effects, right? If you tap on this plus sign over here in your layer effects panel, it will give you a second drop shadow, okay? It'll duplicate that first one, but then now you can manipulate that one because I want to do a tiny bit of a shadow over here, not as diffuse. Probably keep it like at a 15, just like that, just to give it a little bit of a shadow on the opposite side, okay? And that looks good to me. So that's how you will put two shadows into the same layer. Okay, so now we have that drop shadow, and that looks good. Now, if you zoom in, you'll see that some of that texture made it onto the ribbon. Not a whole lot, but there is some on there, and I want to get rid of that, okay? In order to do that, what you will do is you will go over to your texture that we clipped onto there. So it'll be that first layer. You're going to hit the plus sign, and you're going to apply a mask to that, okay? So when you open up that layer now, you'll see that there's a little white square attached to that layer. And that means that there's a mask on it. So when you're dealing with masks, you're really dealing with black and whites or grayscale in between. So if you, as you can see, the square is white, which means that everything that's on that mask is revealed. The texture is completely available for you to see. If you paint on this mask with black, it's going to conceal what's on the mask. So let me show you what I mean by that. I'm going to go ahead and grab my brush with that little square selected, okay? Make sure you're on the square, not over here, but tap on the square. I'm going to increase the flow of my brush so I don't have to work as hard, and I'm going to reduce the size of this brush. When you're painting with black, what's going to happen is that you're going to conceal that mask. So you see what I just did there? Now you can see the background. Let's undo that. We don't want to do that. What I want to do is just fix up this little area right here, just that little overlapped place. And if you go too far, like I just did, you paint with white. Paint with white and it will correct that and bring that spot back. And this is a really good way to do non-destructive edits. If you ever need to go back in and change anything, you can. So I'm just painting on there and I'm just getting rid of that texture that leaked onto the ribbon, okay? Using a mask to do that. So now when you go back into your layer, you'll see that mask has a little bit of black in it, and those are the areas that are being concealed. So now we took care of that. Okay, so in the event that you want to use this cover on its own like this without the paper, we want to apply a fold look to it in the center so that it looks a little bit more realistic and it's not just flat, okay? So I'm going to show you how to do that. So here we have the paper. And I'm going to turn that on because I want to use that as a guideline to what I'm going to do next as far as where I'm going to place my crease. I'm going to go ahead and turn on this shape that we did. And I'm going to lay the paper on over it. I'm going to just move it up the layer stack so that I can see the shape behind it. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to tap on that shape and I'm going to grab my gradient tool. The gradient tool is right above the brush tool on your tool panel. So it looks just like this little guy right here. And we're just going to draw a line across. Keep it straight. And draw a line across it. So right now it looks kind of bogus. I don't know what that is. We're going to change that. So what we're trying to accomplish is to form a crease in the center here. So I'm going to go ahead and move this little pointer to the center. Now, if you tap on these color bubbles at the ends of each, then you are able to change those colors out. So right now, I'm on that first one on the left-hand side. I'm going to turn that to white. I'm going to tap on the opposite one, and I'm going to turn that to white as well. I'm going to tap on the center one, and I'm going to get it right to where that, try to get it right to where that crease is. That's why I have that page there. I'm going to get that one, and then I am going to choose, I don't usually use black. Black is a little too intense. I usually use like a gray variation, like that'll work right there. Like a dark or a medium gray. We'll go with that one right there. And I'm going to go ahead and shut this paper off so that you can see what I'm doing here. I just use that so that I can mark that middle point for myself so that that crease is right behind that paper crease. So it works in my planner that way when I use it. So now here you'll see that you have some lines between your color bubbles. What I want you to do is just drag that in because we want that crease to be more pronounced in the center, okay? And then gradiate from there. Okay, so that's going to give you that crease look, that paper look in the center. Now, it looks a little crazy right now, I'm not going to lie, but we're going to take care of that, all right? Because we want that to look like, we want to see our texture coming through that. I don't know why my thing keeps doing that. I keep flipping my pencil around. Okay, so in order to remove that white area and just keep our shadow, what we're going to do is erase white paper. Oh my God, that's like one of my favorite filters in this program. So you're going to tap on your filters, you're going to scroll down, and you're going to erase white paper. And now you just get the shadows, and you can see all of your textures coming through, which is exactly what we wanted to do. Okay. Now I am going to group those two together so they stay in one piece. And as you can see, we have our paper and we have our cover. And I'm going to go ahead and duplicate this. And the only reason why I'm doing that is because I want to have one that's joined too. No, that kind. Yep, I want to have one that's joined. So that if I want to use it with the paper, it kind of gives me the guideline to where I can insert my paper in Noteful and it all lines up in my tabs. Okay. So now we have that done. Let me just move this to the top to keep it together. And we have our pockets and we have our background. All right. So we are getting there. So in this video, we just covered how to make the back cover, how to apply a gradient to it so that it looks like it has this curve or this crease in the center. We applied some textures to it using our clipping mask. We did some brush work to apply some curves to it. And we also did a mask to cover up some areas of the texture where we did not want it. Okay. So now in the next video, I'm going to show you guys how to export all of these pieces out so that you can use them in your planner. All right, I'll see you there. Bye.